Good girl. Good girl. Check it out. Look at that butt. Good girl. Wow. We're just teaching her to respect the leash, not to pull on it. So if it gets tight, as soon as the leash gets tight, e-collar pressure turns on very low. If she doesn't respond to that, I start dialing up into something she does respond to. She relieves the tension by moving with the leash like that, and it all goes away. So teach the dog not to let the leash get tight. Whether or not it's a 10-foot leash, a 6-foot leash, or 2 inches of leash, don't let it get tight, and then you get a dog who's not going to pull you, right? Good girl. Yes. This is a really cool exercise because it also gives the conversation, which we're trying to do, especially early on, that the e-collar is me. Because you'll see them turn around and like they'll wonder what's going on. They'll look at me and I'll say, good girl, and then they'll come into my space, and then they'll realize it's just more and more reps of them realizing this is just me. That's all it is. It's just me. It's just an extension of my hand, or it's just an extension of the leash, because eventually they'll be off leash. So we want as many of those reps as possible, as many of those little incidences. Go ahead, girl. Once she gets it, she gets it. And then now e-collar pressure. Dial up a little bit. Boom. Good girl. Good girl. So we have to be fluent with our number because, and I'm talking to trainers more than I am somebody who's picking up a finished dog. You don't need to worry about this. But we need to get really good at being able to read when the dog feels it, when we need to go up and when we need to go down with our numbers, so that we can keep our dog in a clear mind. All right? If we undercorrect, if we don't reach the right number, it's not as effective for teaching. If we go too high, then we send our dogs into panic, especially early on. So we got to become pros at reading the dog and adjusting our numbers from there. And then if you get really good at that, that's when everybody around you who's watching, they're going to say this: you make it look so easy, because that's the trick. You have finesse, you have a good eye, you have good hand and eye coordination, you have good timing. Because notice, as soon as she stops and she turns at me, good girl. As soon as that, and I see that missing a lot. We have trainers come through here a lot. The praise, the timing of the praise is off. The dog will complete the entire task with no praise until it's done. But in the beginning, as soon as she turns around and looks at me, yes, good girl. Okay, and that's how we also create focus too. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. Oh, I didn't even get a chance. Good girl, I didn't even get a chance. Okay, so pressure, good girl. Now she's just picking up on it. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. See, that's what's funny about this stuff, is that the dog pulls. The dog's a puller. Every dog comes into puller. We're teaching them, as soon as you feel any at all, to turn around and alleviate it by stop pulling against it. Just take a step towards it to release the tension. And it's literally 2 fingers, right? Good girl. Once we get the dog good at this, nice, we can literally start moving them around. Good girl. Good girl, which is gonna make it a lot easier to tell her what I need her to do. Good girl. In the future, you know, if I need to guide her on the place bed, you know, boom. Rather than a dog who doesn't move with the leash. They just resist it, they're pulling against it. We teach her that this is how to follow that direction. Good girl, look at you, you're a pro. Yes, you are. So you got to see it happen right there. You've seen her not knowing what to do with this, or not caring, and then all of a sudden she went, oh, and it was that one particular rep when she was kind of stuck, and you've seen her pick up on the e-collar sensation, and then look at me, and I praised, and she came into me for comfort, and she realized that was me communicating with her. And then every rep after that, it's like bing, bang, boom, boom. She knows exactly what's going on, okay? If I didn't take that step to explain that little thing, a couple days on the road, we might run into some communication error when I'm trying to tell her to do something, right? And now she's not moving with my leash pressure, and you know, frustration and all this stuff can occur. Good girl. You see what I just did there? I asked her to move. Oh, good girl. Yes, right? So we explain these little things to them before we go and try to get complicated with our expectations. Right here, boom. Yeah, that's it, girl, that's it. That's it, yeah. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Good. Break. Yes, you're very sweetheart. Yes, you are. Okay, so that's another little first step before we move on to the actual commands. We haven't got to a command. You know, we did a little sit inside, but we're just teaching her the language of the leash, the language of the e-collar, my language with my markers, good, no, and break. And then once she feels familiar with that, that's why we use sit, so we can actually use good, no, and break. Then she starts to feel familiar with that. We have a dog who's more respectful, who understands how to take direction on the leash, calmer, ready to learn. Okay, now let's get into the command. So now let me teach you recall, place, heel, all this stuff, okay? Because now you're ready, right? She wasn't ready yet, right? She didn't have these little concepts. Look at that, huh? 2 fingers, just ask her to come. She knows what it means. Now, that doesn't mean she's always gonna listen, right? There's nothing here that's super distracting, but she knows what it means. That's important. We need to make sure there's no confusion. Then what we do is we provide a distraction out there that makes her not want to listen to us. It's a very important next step. That gives us a chance to dial up into a number that, whatever number it is, because we'll go from something that she doesn't concern herself with to that Goldilocks number, and we'll see her disengage with the distraction and come back to us. It doesn't look like we're doing it. It really doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but I am. And they're very minute conversations, and we have so many of these to develop exactly what we want from the dog. The way we want her to feel about everything. It's very important, okay? State of mind training. Look at this. Right? She's learning how to relax. And she's not tired. We know that because if I said the release word, she's not even in a command, but if I said that and ran out there, she'd be right with me, frolicking through the field. She's learning how to wait, okay? Break. Hi. Good job, darling. Very good job. She's feeling better already, and every day, a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better, until she's right where she needs to be.